Welcome to Your Voice Dorset podcast. I'm Marilyn Barber, and I'm delighted to speak to Bruce Grant-Braham. Now, Bruce, you've got many, many facets to your career, and I'm going to start with Poole Sea Cadets, and we'll move on to the others later. Okay. Tell me how you became involved with them.
I was looking at some adverts for volunteering jobs, and up it came to the top of the list. And why did I go to it? Because I was a sea cadet in my youth.
Oh, were you?
So I speak the nautical language.
Yes.
And it was just something that appealed to me. It wasn't too labour or time intensive, but I know what it did for me. And probably one of the reasons I'm sitting here now, it gave me, as a youngster, an awful lot of confidence. Probably my wife would say too much confidence, but it gave me quite a number of skills. In fact, the first, because as you'll probably work out later on, I work at Bournemouth University, and the first group of students I ever taught were sea cadets when I was pushed in front of them and told to tell them how to tie knots.
Right. So where did you grow up then?
Well, for sea cadet point of view, I grew up in Poole, and I was actually a Parkston sea cadet. I'm allowed to say that. Oh,
it's a different group. Yes.
It is a different group to ours, yes.
So you're very much a local man then?
My life started in London,
right, in
Surbiton, in the good life.
Yes.
And my father was quite a well-known bank manager down here. He came down with work, brought us with him. We'd come down here on holidays. We loved the area. So both my parents came down, brought me. And apart from a few little stints of a relatively short time, I've worked here ever since.
Yes, so you were at Parkstone Sea Cadets. What sort of age did you join?
Right, I went in, I think, about 11 or 12. The Sea Cadets in general, though, nowadays take children, I say children, they don't look like children, from 10 to 12 as juniors, yes, 12 to 18 as seniors. Then they have to leave at 18. That's our cut-off date. Yes. And, of course, most of them are going on to university or further education, or some of them do actually go into the Navy.
Yes. What does a 10-year-old expect to be confronted with?
Well, they will get a basic introduction to the ways of the Navy. They will get a basic idea of navigation, of boat handling, some pretty elementary cooking, and start to introduce them to some of the ways that the Navy works. But it's not intensive. They're not sort of going out firing guns every day or something like this.
No.
The whole idea is to give them confidence, and they'll start to work as a team, and we try to get throughout the cadets a feeling of respect, of loyalty, and that shines through fairly rapidly.
Does it cost them anything?
We do ask for a donation occasionally, but if they seriously don't have the money to do that, we can find ways of helping them out.
And they have to have a uniform?
Which is supplied by the Navy.
Oh, wow.
The Navy is very generous in the sense that it supplies the uniforms, it supplies places where we can go and train, and it doesn't supply much more than that, but they recognise in the Navy that a sea cadet has, by the time they've been through a number of years, they've really done their naval basic training.
That's impressive, isn't it?
It is, and they can be accelerated through the induction process in the real Navy if they want to.
So it's a wonderful start. Boys and girls.
That's a very good point to make, and thank you for reminding me, yes. When I first came on and I was asked to describe out and about what the cadets were about, 90% of people thought it's all boys. No, it's not. That's
what you'd immediately think, actually.
It does, yeah. Or people do. But no, certainly in our unit across most of the sea cadets, and incidentally there are 15,000 sea cadets in the country. Mm-hmm. We are 50-50 in Poole. And our volunteers, and there are 9,000 volunteers across the UK. And
how many do you have in Poole?
Well, the actual number of cadets in Poole we have at the moment is 64.
Yes.
We'd like to expand. We have a waiting list that would take us up to 90 tomorrow.
Really?
Because it is very popular. But we don't have the facilities at the moment to be able to do that.
Where are you based?
We're based down in Sturt, yes, in Poole.
And you've got a room just for yourselves, or...?
It is a dedicated building. We've got 900 years left on the lease. So it hopefully can be there for a while. And we're trying to find, first of all, the planning permission and the resources to expand to accommodate this waiting list.
So you have to fundraise.
We do. And we're not in a cheap location to build a building. I ought to say that the first part of the building that we are in at the moment was built in 1939, when the building was actually on the edge of the harbour. So Halls Bay Road and everything like that has appeared during that period of time. But we are creaking at the seams now. We need, and we have the volunteers who can cope. It's just getting that planning permission, which hopefully is days away.
So the building could be, there's land there for the building to expand.
We will have to move out for probably 18 months from existing building, build new on top. But I'm not going to say space age, but it will actually give us some much better resources. Because amongst other things, we do host events for Sea Cadets across the south. Because we're blessed with that beautiful harbour, we're very popular for running regattas and things like this all across the southern and southwestern and Wessex areas of Sea Cadets.
What would you say to somebody who's thinking, oh, perhaps I'd like to join Sea Cadets? What would you say to them? Well,
the first thing is it would probably be mummy or daddy had come across, or some of them, of course, do get recommended by friends at school. Come down for an evening, see what we do. We're not scary. No. I should say I'm not a volunteer in the sense of an instructor.
No.
But because I'm on the management committee, but they'll soon get welcomed in. And can I say, disabled individuals, different nationalities, we can accommodate anybody, and we welcome absolutely anybody.
So yes, it's very wide.
It's all embracing.
All embracing.
Yes.
So I know you take very good photographs.
Very kind of you.
I've seen your photographs and we've used them in the magazine. So you turn up at all the Sea Cadets events, and that gives them great publicity, doesn't it? But I think you take photographs for something else as well, don't you?
You've done your research, haven't you? My hobby since about 1968, that ages me slightly, has been motor racing. And I learnt very early on that I wasn't the ideal person to sit behind the wheel of a car.
Did you gave it a go?
I took lessons and I did have a go. It was very expensive. I didn't have much money at the time. And I learnt quite quickly there are quite a few solid objects you can hit, which makes it even more expensive.
Yes.
So I went over to writing about it and then taking photos. Mainly in the UK.
Do you travel around the UK to take photos?
Yes. Well, I did a lot more of that than I do now.
Are you an official photographer?
Yeah, yes.
Oh, you
yes,
are?
Indeed.
Yes. I mean, because you have to be a very good photographer to capture a vehicle going so fast.
Well, that's very nice of you to say so. But as your cameras are probably proving now, some of the automatic ones are very good these days.
Oh, they are. Yes, they are indeed. But, yes. It's got easier, I guess, over the years.
Oh, yes. Well, I'm no longer rushing off to a train station to red star a film to an editor in London.
No.
Yeah, I sit in the media office and send everything digitally straight away.
Right.
And of course, you'll be aware that many press photographers, as they're taking the photos, they're sent by the camera anyway.
Yes. So you're travelling around the country doing that.
Yeah.
I want to take you back a bit further now.
Ooh.
Because people might not be aware that you were once Mayor of Poole. Which year was that?
1993, 1994.
Yes, because of course you become sheriff before.
You do indeed.
Then mayor, then deputy mayor.
And in the nicest possible way, you haunted me at that time because you were following me around with your camera.
Yes. So, I mean, you'd been on the council. That would have been Poole Borough Council,
it was good old Poole Borough Council, yes.
We won't say anything else about other councils, but Poole, yes, it's Poole Borough Council.
Yes.
So had you been on the council for very long?
I went in 1979. The story behind that is my father was a county councillor, and I basically said to him at some point, and I'm slightly embellishing this, you old fuddy-duddies don't know what you're doing. So he said, right, you put your name forward. So I did, and much to my surprise, was selected and got elected. So I was on Poole Council for quite a long time. Because in a previous life I'd been a hotel manager, immediately I got involved in the tourism side of things, and that snowballed in various other ways through till quite recently.
I did say there were many facets to your career. So your father was on Dorset County Council.
Yes, he was.
Yes. Yes. So as mayor, you would have been at many really interesting events. What was is there a standout one?
There probably is. Let me say that it was in the mayoral year there were 500 events, and the shortest would probably be about half an hour, the longest 3 days. And something that's always been close to my heart, and it's possibly because of my father, was the commemorations of D-Day. And that's very personal to me because my father was intimately involved and did take me over there on a number of occasions to show me. So I had trips to France and then eventually organised the 50th commemorations in Poole. So those are particular personal things.
That's 30 years ago.
It is. Yeah, well, yes, when both of us were about 3. No, it's great. But let me make the point about the mayoralty. I certainly didn't realise how much is done by charity. And you go and visit a charity and I don't think of myself as particularly special, but you walk in and people's eyes would light up. They'd saved up for a bunch of flowers, a bouquet for my wife, and they were there are just too many of them to mention, but the charity side was fantastic. Had one 100-year-old lady who her husband had been in the Royal Marines, and the Royal Marines surprised her with a couple of buglers, and then we probably put a dampener on it by peering through the front door. Yeah. But it was just lovely, absolutely lovely. And we asked her what her secret was to being 100. I can't tell you the first one, but the second one was to have a glass of red wine every night. Oh,
that sounds excellent advice, doesn't it?
All for that.
I mean, in those days with the Poole Borough Council, it was a 3-year ride, wasn't it?
Yes.
Because you had the sheriff first, so your various events, then full on for the mayor, and then deputy mayor, and you'd often have to fill in.
Absolutely.
Now, obviously, at that time, you were also working. So that's quite difficult, being a mayor and working.
Bournemouth University or its predecessor were very kind to me. They didn't actually let me off any teaching.
No.
I still had that, but they put my teaching in the mornings. So I always called myself the sort of Cinderella mayor. At midday, I'd leap out. And, of course, all my colleagues would metaphorically blow raspberries at me because I was getting into a chauffeur-driven car and being driven away.
Yes, Well, that's what the Mayor of Poole had in those days. I don't know if they still do.
Absolutely. There's a bit of that, but not nearly so much. That side of it needs a revamp from my point of view. But we've had some excellent mayors recently. And incidentally, to square a bit of a circle, the mayor now automatically becomes patron of Poole Sea Cadets. So they do take
that works well.
Quite an interest in us, yes.
What made you come off the council? Or did you stand and didn't get in?
No, I decided I'd done enough.
Which ward was yours?
It's that well-known, very left-wing ward called Camphicus, Branksome Park and Sandbanks. So anybody listening might get an idea of what my colour was at that time.
Yes, indeed.
Lovely ward, eh?
Yes. So you decided that you'd had enough?
Certain things were being repeated for the third time, and people hadn't. And I just thought, yes, some people probably say I should have gone after one term. But no, it wasn't I disliked it. I just felt I'd come to my end of my endurance being a councillor. Yes. I should say my wife became a councillor as well, and we both left around about the same sort of time.
Yes.
I tell a lie, she went on a bit longer than me.
I'm going to take you back a bit further because
you weren't there at my birth, were you?
No. Which school did you go to?
Camford.
You went to Camford School?
Castle Court and Camford.
Yes. And what do you lecture in?
This is a strange one because my business career, I should say the university's business career really, but was running hotels for the old Trust House 40 group. And I originally went into teaching hotel management.
Oh, I see.
But this motor racing thing was always there in the background.
Yes.
And in that, I got involved in business in the motor racing sphere. And so I now teach sport marketing, which is second nature to me. So, that's got me sitting down with Lewis Hamilton and Bernie Ecclestone and people like that.
A bit of name dropping there.
I'm afraid so.
Yes.
And famous journalists like Marilyn as well. So.
Bernie Ecclestone, that must have been an interesting one. You're not going to say anything, are you?
Actually, a video was taken at the time, so I can reveal. The racing club, which I'm on the council of, gave him an award for his contribution to British motor racing. And we arrived I had a videographer with me. We arrived for the interview. And the first thing he did was put his head round the door before the time of the interview and say, "Oh, this is all a blankety-blank mess. What are you blankety-blank doing here?" Whoa, and stormed off. Now, later I was told that was his way of unsettling people.
Really?
I'm told. But
is that short man syndrome?
I'm not saying anything about that. Not saying anything. But anyway, if it was, it probably sharpened us all up. And the first thing he said, Bruce, Bruce, can I teach you how to do your job?
Oh, what a cheat. You must have been speechless at that.
He had a smile on his face.
Oh, did he?
All the way through, he had a smile. And he said, first thing I'd like to say is thank you to the club, because the video was being shown at the award ceremony because he couldn't attend. And he said, well, thank you to the club, but I'd like to make the point that I didn't do this for Britain, inferring that he did it for himself, rather. But
yes.
He was great fun. And I was allowed, I think, permitted half an hour with him. And an hour later, we were still talking.
Really?
And the same when I interviewed Lewis Hamilton. Because I'm not wasn't trying to find out anything personal about private lives or anything like this. They both opened up in their different ways.
I suppose they're a little bit guarded on that, because whatever they say, it will just be spread. I mean, even worse today, everything's spread on social media.
Absolutely.
So it's a difficult one.
Indeed. But no, that side of thing was interesting. So I have been on the interviewer side as well as the interviewed side on occasions.
Yes. So it gives you an idea of what I'm going through, doesn't it?
I'm very impressed by your background knowledge, I must admit.
And you also, were you tourism officer for Poole?
I was chair of the tourism committee for 14 years, and that then got me on to the tourism brief for the local enterprise partnership when that was in place.
Yes.
And that became a job for promoting tourism across the whole of Dorset. I ought to say about Poole tourism, I was blessed with some wonderful officers, and they were. You may remember Graham Shaw, you may remember Graham Richardson, and many others who were excellent. I also had an excellent committee because these two gentlemen had set up a way of involving every segment of the industry. And they were very good. And I had people who didn't just sit down and talk at committees, but they contributed, not only financially, but also with ideas. Excuse me a moment. The frog in me has caught up. We're okay, keep going. Okay, yes, so I had a wonderful time with that. And super people across the town contributed to that, it would be unfair of me to mention names because I'd leave somebody out who would feel aggrieved. And
how do you feel about tourism in Poole now? Do you think I think your face said something there.
My face did say something because I'm particularly when I look at Dorset and then Poole, the town centres aren't what they used to be.
I think a lot of people would agree with you on that one.
And one of the things we used to push was that people coming as tourists, they need somewhere to stay, they need somewhere to eat, and they need something to do.
Yes.
Well, the do, inevitably, in many cases, is the beach. But when it's raining, and very occasionally it does rain in Dorset, shopping is there. But the shopping offer now has changed out of all recognition. I still, and this shows my age, I still remember the coffee shop on the top of Beale's for a nice tea cake and whatever.
Yes.
And in some cases served rather than going to a canteen type arrangement. Well, I go back long enough to remember trolley buses in the square, so that's just another world, unfortunately.
Yes, Poole has changed dramatically. Yeah. They do put on quite a few events.
We do events, and the Dolphin Centre, again, is somewhere you can go when it's rainy or whatever, but still is functioning reasonably well.
Yes. So when did you finish being involved in tourism?
Well, it really came when the councils were rearranged.
Yes.
And I particularly enjoyed the local enterprise partnership. That, of course, is now being closed down.
Yes, I can remember when that opened up. Yes,
absolutely. I wasn't there right at the start. I think I was about 6 months later because somebody brilliantly somewhere realised that there is a spot of tourism in Dorset and there should be somebody representing it. So I put my name forward and was accepted.
We have wonderful beaches.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Our beaches are second to none.
I think that's superb, absolutely superb. And you can, even if you don't think of Poole and Bournemouth, in Dorset, you can find a quiet location somewhere if you really want to.
Yes, you can.
And I've always thought that, living here, one's got all the attractions of the New Forest, the attractions of Dorset. If one's going to leap in a yacht, you can sail out of a beautiful harbour. And if you're so intent, you can be on a train to London in an hour and a half, can't you?
You can. And this really leads me on to my last question.
Go on.
What does Dorset mean to you?
Well, I sound very trite, but as somebody who grew up in South London for the first 11 years of my life, the other X number of years have been down here, and I think of myself as a Dorset person now. I think I may well have done just a little bit to convince people I like Dorset over the years.
I think you have. Bruce, thank you very much.
Thank you, Marilyn.